then hey, Johnny, what's going on? Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Gus Tucker here at Financial Freedom Fridays. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to continue the discussion on how to create income more effectively. As we talked about in our last two shows, the only way to create more income is to create more value in the marketplace. And you can do this two ways. One is we called intrapreneuring, and that's within creating innovation within your workplace, where you work at every day and getting paid for it. The second way is entrepreneuring, and that's creating a business and a business team that executes a business plan and you get paid for it. So in an effort to support your creativity in entrepreneurship, I want to introduce you to an expert at developing and helping others develop successful businesses. So give a loud virtual Financial Freedom Friday welcome to Mr. Johnny Stewart, joining us from sunny Los Angeles, California. All right. How you doing, Johnny?
Hi. Hello, Gus. Thank you for inviting me to today's show. I appreciate the opportunity, as always.
Yeah, man. So it's good to see you and good to hear your voice. And, man, it's been great getting to know you and understanding more about the Black Unicorn Factory, which we see behind you. Now, Johnny, tell me a little bit about this Black Unicorn Factory and how did it come to be?
Well, the Black Unicorn Factory is a business development accelerator. And our strategy is to innovate entrepreneurism and also innovate investing as well. So we have both of them combined into one program. Primarily, we accelerate business growth, and on the financial literacy side, we accelerate a person's net worth as well. So that's our program in a nutshell that we complete there.
So Johnny, we were talking a little bit about this, a little bit about your background, and we were talking about entrepreneurship and the fact that 9 out of 10 businesses fail.
Correct.
Why is that?
Well, primarily, I'll tell you, if you've been taught wrong, then you're going to do wrong.
Say, whoa. What'd you say?
If you've been taught wrong. See, the thing is, if I were to today ask a person to come to a seminar and it was called How to Fail 9 out of 10 Times in Business, nobody would want to come. But in actuality, the business ecosystem that is being taught is a broken system. This is why that instead of trying to fix the system of 90% of businesses fail, they've come up with concepts called fail fast and fail often out of Silicon Valley. And that's a strategy to teach young entrepreneurs to fail from the very beginning. So they do exactly what they were taught to do, fail. But if you have a different teacher who teaches you that failure is not acceptable, now it's possible, but not acceptable. And we've come up with strategies to reduce the failure rate, which would boost our economy and make by making more profitable and sustainable businesses.
So what do you think?
It all comes down to being taught what you were taught.
Okay, so kind of staying on that vein, what is it, top maybe 2 or 3 things that people are being taught that cause them to fail? What would you say those are?
Many times what is being taught is first and foremost that it's okay. It's okay to fail 9 out of 10 times. The strategy of being in business for yourself, but by yourself, that has to stop. You have to, in today's time, you need to employ as many supporters as you possibly can, not just capital, but the crowd or people. The more support that you have, and also the second thing I would probably say is more revenue streams. The average business that fails only has 1 or 2 revenue streams. The more revenue streams that you have for your business, the more sustainable the business will be. This is why many of the largest companies in America, they might seem like one big business, but if you look behind them, there's hundreds of businesses in which they purchase. But many small businesses are so focused on one stream of revenue and that they lose sight that you're very vulnerable if in that case, because there's a lot of counterfeits, bootlegs, different things like that. As soon as you come up with a successful business model, there are people that are, that are poachers. I call them idea poachers. And these idea poachers are here to find ideas that are small, that make money. And many of these people are pretending to be investors when they're really here to take ideas from what I call entrepreneurs that don't have the ability, that don't have the money to scale. So we have several strategies. One to prevent failure, another to prevent disruption, another to increase revenue streams, up to 25 different revenue streams. All of these make for a more sustainable, more attractive, more profitable, and more valuable business. But it all comes down to what you were taught in the beginning.
You're exactly right. I'm thinking about Amazon. And I know when people think about Amazon, they think about maybe the website, and you can purchase things and then they'll deliver it to your door. But now Amazon is opening grocery stores.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Amazon is the largest shipper of packages in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, at the Black Unicorn Factory, I teach, and because I'm one of the teachers that are there, I teach that what we're focused on is becoming tech businesses of today. You see, brick and mortar is on its, even though it's still in existence, most of them are still trying to morph into becoming tech companies. So you have to, like I said, from the beginning, establish the point with your students that they're to become a tech entrepreneur. And being a tech entrepreneur means that they're going to be using, like you said, more websites, different things like that. But there is still one of the things that the most businesses, another thing that I see is that most entrepreneurs have no exit strategy. So it's not just, most are just not investable. Most ideas and people are asking for money, they're not investable. They have great ideas, very little money, and the value of the companies are really worthless. So the reason I say that is, if you were to take most average small businesses and put them on a balance sheet, you would find that they have very little, if not any, assets at all. Right. And when an investor seeks to invest in your company, what he's doing is trying to buy a piece of what? But if the company's not worth anything, guess what he just bought? Yeah. So we have to also, at the Black Unicorn Factory, we need to build value in addition to building visibility and profitability. Those are things that must be done as well. But as I said, it goes back to how you were taught. We're just a different new school form of an entrepreneur teacher. And from the very inception, that's why we have over 70 companies that have all qualified to make it to the New York Stock Exchange. This is why we have over 100 people who have become accredited investors. This is a proven strategy that works. And as I always say in my classes, proof is truth. And so there we'll be having a ceremony very soon for our 75 graduates who have become accredited investors.
So tell me a little bit about the strategy that you use. We've talked about it, and it's very innovative. What's the strategy that you use to help these companies build and create value?
Well, one is so many people are unaware of the crowd, the social media crowds that are following so many influencers. They don't realize that if they were to employ a crowd of followers, how much beneficial and how it would change your business. But instead of us trying to, basically utilize the crowd, we're trying to use the crowd, and that's where the dysfunction comes. When you're trying to use it instead of utilize it. When I say that, I mean, imagine if you had a celebrity that has 100,000 followers. We're able to show our entrepreneurs how to convert the followers into investors, basically into partners. Instead of them looking at a group of your customers as patrons, we're going to convert them into partners. When you enter into a partnership with large groups of people, you can eliminate failure. It's very, very statistically proven hard to fail in business when you have a large amount of supporters. So money can many times, Even most venture capitalists will tell you that 90% of businesses fail. But even venture capitalists know that even if they put their money into you, 75% of you are still going to fail. But look at this. When I put 100,000 faithful, loyal people into your business, your failure rate goes down to 9. That's from 90% to 9. Now, considering that $1 trillion per year is invested in startups, over 400,000 startups in America are started every year. 90% of them won't make it out of the second year, all because of the way in which they were taught. If you employ the crowds, as I mentioned, you're going to have a business that's sustainable. And here's the thing I want people to understand. Imagine 100,000 supporters. Not only will they, like I said, support the business, but they also are capable of producing 25 different streams of revenue. So most people aren't aware that you have a business, and the business that you have, it's great. It makes 1 or 2 streams of income. But if competition comes along, or things like the COVID and social economic things happen, you could easily be affected. And like many businesses, they were out of business. But if you have a crowd, what we teach at the Black Unicorn Factory is that you just employed into your business 25 different additional streams of revenue. Now, having 25 different streams of revenue makes your company extremely profitable versus a company that only has 1 or 2. Who's going to be able to sustain themselves over time? The one who has more streams.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah, there's many others.
How do you develop 100,000 supporters? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's like trying to develop 100,000 followers.
Here's the thing. Most influencers have no idea that what they're towing around is a multi-million, possibly multi-billion-dollar company. If only they could to transform the relationship. See, you already have the influencers have large amounts of supporters and they have a relationship, but you can easily transform the relationship with a question, just asking them a question. And all they have to say is yes. That's it. Yes. Because what has happened is a supporter can go from a follower to an investor legally by the Securities and Exchange Commission rules by just saying that I will follow you in exchange for equity. That's it.
Okay, hold on.
Because see, they're like right now, your followers are following Gus. Well, if they decided to say, well, I'll follow Gus if you for some equity, if you're gonna give it to me. Well, what that did was it created a different relationship. Because investing doesn't always have to be with cash. There's always been sweat equity. Sweat equity means that you can actually provide a product or service in exchange for equity. But if someone says, hey, Gus, if you have some equity in your company, I don't really have the cash, but I'm willing to follow you on your social media. By them saying yes, they've just became an investor.
So are you saying that?
So many of these followers, they will, if you ask them the question, just ask them, would you follow me for equity? And yeah, sure.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you teach the businesses that have their followers follow them for equity. So the business owner gives them equity in their company.
Yes, and what happens is, let's say that if you go to our website, we have a website that's called Fans Worth. It's fans, FANS, worth.com. If you were to enter in all the fans that are following any celebrity, it would tell you what type of value of a company it would become. So if you had 100,000 followers and they became investors, just by simply doing what you're already doing, I'm already following Gus. But for me to follow for equity, that changed me into an investor. But what that did was it created almost a $200 million valuation on a tech company, which is almost unheard of because, and there, once you have entered into a high value area of tech, you'd be surprised how many people now you come up on a financial radar and people want to invest in you. There are many doors that open, and that's what I discuss with my students. Is I show them, if you can raise the value of your company, you will raise in people's eyebrows and want them to look into you and to look into your ideas. And that's one of the things. But there are many doors that open when you employ. Plus, like I said, 25 streams of revenue. Let us show you how that a crowd of followers can create 25 streams of revenue in addition to the streams of revenue you already have.
So I did that. I went to net worth. And I just put in 1,000.
Okay.
Right? And it came up with a net worth value of $2 million and revenue of 100,000. So how do I get that revenue of 100,000?
Well, see, remember, as I said, the crowd, if you give a crowd an instruction. See, today, most tech businesses are on an app. That's what we refer to as being tech. You need to be on an app. Well, through an app, it has an application built inside of it called a push notification. If you give one command or one statement, you can just push notification. Everybody on the app who's attached to the app knows it instantly. But if you told them, hey, look, I'm just going to give you an example of one. If you told them today, I just want you guys to tap our app today. That's it. Just one. You would have generated revenue. But many of your crowd might come and visit the website once a day. Without you realizing it, that's generating revenue. There are also ads that are on your website, and they vary from 25 cents to $1, $2. Well, they know that, hey, look, if I turn around and view some of these ads that are on our website, it actually makes money for the company. What I'm trying to show is that we haven't went through it because we don't have the time, but there are 25 different things they can do that would make money for their company. Because see, once they have stock in it, you guys are partners. So whatever they do for you benefits them too.
Now, those 25 streams of income, that's separate and apart from the actual product or service that the company sells. That's separate from that.
That's separate from that. And so what happens is but here's the whole thing. Many people know, many millennials today know someone who's in the thousands, even hundreds of thousands, in the millions. They don't know that you can learn how to transform their crowd into investors and then bring their crowd underneath your company as what we call fan investors. So, but this is a process. Like I said, if you want to increase the amount of revenue, if you want to decrease the chances of failure, bring a crowd. Because we had a recent what you call pitch competition. And one of the things that shocked the entire show was failure rate. When they were asked, everyone on the show was asked one question. Most businesses fail at 90%. What are you going to do to stop that? And you had to see what every one of them on the show had to say. And I'll tell you, 90% had no answer for it. No answer at all. Because failure was something that they were aware of, but weren't prepared for. And see, you can't go into business. That's what I said. You go into business, the teacher didn't tell you what to do. In the event that you're facing this, how to prevent failure, it should be a part of your business plan.
Okay, so I'm going to build these fan investors. And then I'm going to have certain things that they do every day to generate value.
Yes. Now, one of the things that please understand, many people, 76% of America today is living paycheck to paycheck. They don't have the money to invest like they would like to. So, many apps, of which there's 158 apps on the App Store, every last one of them are requiring you to put up money to invest. But see, what happens is if you give the people an option, that there's an option other than cash, that I can turn around and invest in a business by simply doing something I already do, which is use social media. What we've turned is social media following into a profit proposition, but not just that, but an investment proposition. So that because many people every single day are wasting millions of hours playing games which are of no financial benefit, just wasting time. One thing that you'll find is in your life, time is your most invaluable asset in your life. Because see, you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. But one of the things you have to understand is utilize the time effectively. And now social media has just become a way to invest, because the more companies you follow on social media, the more you're investing. And that gives all the have-nots the people that are out there financially struggling and who do not have many money to invest with an opportunity to invest. That's why we created the Follow Me for Equity app.
Okay, so I'm creating my followers. They're following me. I've got 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 followers. Okay. Now, am I still going to look to get investors to invest money in my company as well?
Yeah. Well, see, I want you to look at it from a different perspective, Gus. See, most people are interested in getting money what I call front end, meaning that they want you to come right out of your pocket and give to them, not really realizing that you have skill sets that can make money. And you have your skill set is a resource. That's why I said, if you just would look at the consumer or the investor differently and look at them as having a capability or resource that can make you multiple streams, the money that you're asking for, that many of these, you got to remember, many companies right now are seeking capital. And 99% of those that are pitching the rich are being turned down. Most people don't really realize that they got a lot of pitch competitions. There's a lot of accelerators preparing people to pitch the rich, like on Shark Tank, but 99% of them are being rejected. The thing that they have to understand is there's another way to raise capital other than asking rich. There's other than asking angel investors and venture capitalists, who basically are turning down 99% of the people that are pitching them. Because the venture capitalist and the angel investor, they want something revolutionary, something unique and game changing. And that's not the case every time. Yeah. So what happens is when you get this crowd, if you learn the way in which we teach at the Black Unicorn Factory, you'll learn that they have the ability to raise the capital from the things they do and be able to produce steady income as well. So you end up getting more by getting them. And they, like I said, so a crowd is a resource. We're just, a resource that has many different revenue streams that can come from that. So like we had time and, things like that, but we have classes that we have at the Black Unicorn Factory, and we discuss it, and I go through all these different revenue streams. But if you want to make your company more profitable, get a crowd. If you want to make it more valuable, because you have to just look at this, every venture capitalist today is looking for the next unicorn, the next $1 billion company. But when you have 350,000 followers that are following you, you've just created $1 billion company. Because and most aren't aware of that. And there's something remarkable that happens when you reach that status. I want to explain. What were you saying there, Gus?
Well, how do you go out and get these followers?
Well, you don't get the followers. The influencers already have them. So you can find a lot of entertainers. They have 500,000, 800,000, 2 million, 3 million. You've got a lot of them. You can actually go to websites, FameSwap. They have a website called fameswap.com. They're actually selling their fan bases, and you'll see they've got 500,000, 600,000. But you have a lot of celebrities that are not aware that their fan base could actually make them a billionaire. They have no idea. But you are at the Black Unicorn Factory. We're trying to show them, if you would convert your fan base. Now, for instance, a famous celebrity might have 2 or 3 million followers. He would first convert his followers into investors that are following him. But at the same time, in the Black Unicorn Factory, we can import his followers to follow you. The reason why I say this, Gus, just follow me on this one thought.
Okay.
You can own a share of stock in more than one company.
Yes.
Now, if I own stock in someone else's company and you offer me stock in another company, I might say, okay, how much does it cost? Things like that. People don't mind being given an opportunity to own stock in more companies that they didn't have to pay cash for. Okay. So therefore, we're able to take the same crowd that's in one company and shift them over into another. So you can't do that with cash. When you take cash, let's say if I wanted to make today $1 billion company, I could say, Gus, we're going to, these people can make you $1 billion company. All they got to do is put up $100 million. But what happens? Look at what happens. When we put the $100 million into you, we'd have to raise another $100 million just to do it again, to create another unicorn.
Right.
Now, imagine us having a 500,000, 500,000 social media followers. That creates a unicorn too. What happens is we can take the same group of people and move them to a second company and create a second unicorn. We can move them to a third company and create another unicorn, and so on and so forth. We could create hundreds of unicorns almost within seconds. That's why we're called Unicorn Factory, because what has happened is something revolutionary has happened. Someone came up with a concept to create billion-dollar businesses. And see, the venture capital community has had a stranglehold on who would become the next unicorn. What creates a unicorn is a large amount of capital, which used to be. Now it takes a large crowd of people. And I'll ask you, and I ask this in my class all the time, who has a better unicorn? The one with the $100 million, or the person that has 100, millions of followers? Let me ask the question a little better. Which is more valuable? Millions of dollars in cash or millions when you find out, you would be much stronger and a much different business if you had a large group of loyal people. See, people, when they become a part of your business, Gus, they feel obligated to see it through and see it successful. They feel differently once they have a piece of your company. They feel that if you fail, they fail. And many of them will refuse to let you fail. And so they'll do whatever they need to do to make the company successful. Now you're not working, you're not in this business yourself. You're not in this for yourself, you're in it with them. And you've got thousands or millions of helpers to help you in this business. And that's what's going to prevent you from failing and make you more profitable. But the process of converting a follower, social media follower, is nothing more than a click. That's all it is. Nothing more than a click. See, I'm already following you. I follow Gus. But in order to become an investor, all I have to do is say, yes, I'll follow Gus for equity, and click a button. That's it. I'm an investor now. If you go to followmeforequity.com, which is on the Apple and Android stores, as soon as you watch the video and you agree to follow for equity, all you do is click a button, and within 30 seconds, the person receives a share of stock right then. So what happens is these people are not following you and then later on, sometime down the line, get equity or stock. They're getting it within 30 seconds. You're a shareholder right then. So we want to convert social media followers, but it does take a conscious effort. Click a button and put your name, address, and phone number in there to become a shareholder. And now we have created a new way for people to invest. How many people out there today that were partying in their 20s, trying to chasing women in their 30s, and now they're so far financially behind retirement-wise, it almost looks like an impossibility for them to catch up. Now they can catch up because we have 70 to almost 75, 76 companies today that all you have to do is follow them on social media to earn equity. How much more simple? You already know how to follow on Facebook, so I don't need to explain that. And all you have to do is click a button, which is so easy. And it's easy and affordable because it costs nothing at all. So you'll never lose a dime because you'll never invest anything but time. That's all there is. So we've tried to innovate investing while at the same time try to prepare companies to be disruption proof and failure resistant, all at the same time. But it requires someone revamping the whole business model. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. What about the product or service that the company markets? Do they have to buy that too, or how does that get?
Well, you find that many supporters, some people, I'm not sure if I'm answering the question correctly. The product that in these type of businesses that you're creating, because you are creating a tech business, the new form of tech business, your product becomes your people. Anytime that you have a large contingency of followers that will move at your command, you have no idea what type of power you have. And you wonder, like, what's my product? Well, I can take my crowd and I can have them promote Gus. And you'd be surprised when I tell them, my people, my followers, that I want you to go to his website once a day. That's revenue. When I say to go to his website and click ads and look at the ads that are there, that's revenue. If I tell them to tune in because of commercials, things like that, it's revenue. There's a lot that my crowd can do because, like I said, they got 25 ways to get it. And because of that, they're a skill set. They have the ability to make you more profitable as well. But the last thing I wanted to say about that is when you become a billion-dollar tech startup, that is so rare because, like I said, everyone in the tech industry wants to be the next billion-dollar business. But why is it so important to be a billion-dollar business? There's a little secret I want everyone to know. If you go to a website today that's called Angels and Entrepreneurs Network, one of the four celebrities that's on Shark Tank, that's his website.
Yeah.
On that website, he specifically points out that you will make 1,000 times your money on a share of stock if you own it in a unicorn. He proves it statistically, historically, that if you own one share of a piece of a unicorn, it will be worth, when it goes to the stock market, 1,000 times its value. And most people don't understand $100 becomes 100,000. But when it becomes a unicorn, now here's the thing, here's the formula. Let's get 500,000 followers. Let's put them behind Gus. And what do we have? A unicorn. See, everyone on his website are looking for the next unicorn. We're minting unicorns. So unicorns are not just cash made, but they're crowd made or fan built.
So what you've heard here today is a different strategy, leveraging social media, leveraging followers, fan investors, the crowd, to create a unicorn tech company. I encourage you to go to blackunicornfactory.com, engage with Johnny and his team, and learn more about how you can take advantage of this new technology. Appreciate you guys being here, and we're gonna look to have Johnny back for a part 2 so we can get more in detail about how do we develop these fan investors, how do we turn that into a unicorn, and then how do we leverage that by one day going public. Mm-hmm. So with that, that's Financial Freedom Friday. We'll talk to you guys again. Thanks, Johnny. Appreciate your time, man.
Hey, you guys have a great weekend.
All right. Take care now.